is our agenda. That sounds better. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Caddo Parish Commission's work session. At this time, we will have our roll call, and we will forego our invocation and pledge of allegiance due to the prior meetings. Mr. Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Crackman.
Here.
Commissioner Greg Young. He is here, but not in the room right now. Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
Commissioner John Paul Young.
Here.
Commissioner Burrell. Commissioner Jones.
Here.
Commissioner Gage Watts.
Present.
Commissioner Blake.
Here.
Commissioner Atkins.
Here.
Commissioner Cothran.
Here.
Commissioner Lazarus.
Here.
And Commissioner Epperson.
Present.
Okay, you have got 11 of 12 commissioners present and one absent. That does constitute a quorum.
Thank you so much. Next item will be agenda additions.
Okay, the only item that I am aware of for agenda additions today is on your electronic agenda, and it should be available for you to review. It's a potential agenda addition to add a special resolution recognizing the 235th anniversary of the United States Coast Guard.
Okay.
Please note that the agenda says Coast Guard. I think we intended the agenda to say Coast Guard.
Thank you.
Oh, if you hit update one more time,
Okay.
it probably corrects itself. Mine did.
It's corrected. Thank you so much. At this time, I would like to open for the public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak in favor or against adding this potential agenda addition item to advance a special resolution recognizing the 235th anniversary of the United States Coast Guard? Seeing none, I declare this public hearing closed. Have a motion by Vice President Ken Epperson, second by the chair. Vice President Epperson, would you like to speak on your motion?
Just like to ask that everyone would support this. Oftentimes, the Coast Guard, they're not a highly visible organization, but they do tremendous work. And if you notice the age of it, 235 years, they are a valuable asset to our military as far as protecting the United States of America. We certainly would like to recognize them as well as all the other military. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no one else on the board, please vote to potentially add this to our agenda.
My pad is down. So.
Mine too.
It looks like we have a few pads that are malfunctioning real quick. We're working on those. Would y'all like to do a voice vote just so we can?
If you would, Mr. Clerk, since
Thank
there are
you.
so many that are down, I think that would be best.
Thank you. Our apologies. They were working a moment ago. Not sure what happened, but we'll find out as soon as we can. Commissioner Crankman.
Yes.
Commissioner Greg Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner John Paul Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Burrell.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Commissioner Gage Watts.
Yes.
Commissioner Blake.
Yeah.
Commissioner Atkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Cothran.
Yes.
Commissioner Lazarus.
Yes.
And Commissioner Epperson.
Yes.
Okay, that passes with unanimous vote. And so that item will be added to the end of your new business section, and it will become item 11.14.
Thank you. Our next item will be citizens' comments.
And the citizens' comments, we have one that was held over from an earlier meeting. Otherwise, I have not received additional citizens' comments forms, but we do have forms available to my left. And citizens who wish to address the commission on any issue other than zoning are asked to fill out a comment card, and those comments are limited to 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Henson, do you have your comment card with you?
No, I gave it to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
He has it already.
We will locate it, but Mr. Frederick Henson did turn in a comment card.
Thank you so much. Mr. Henson, you have 3 minutes to speak. Welcome.
Okay, please, thank you.
If you would, state your name and address for the record.
Frederick Henson, 1303 Line Avenue, Suite 300, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71101.
Thank you.
I can go?
Yes.
Thank you, okay. Let me first establish who I am. As a former chairman and vice chairman of the Shreveport Bossier Convention and Tourist Bureau, under my chairmanship, we initiated the creation of the Sports Commission, bringing both mayors together and later bringing the councils and parish together in terms of forming the Sports Commission, former chairman of the Shreveport Black Chamber of Commerce, and former president of Booker T. Washington Alumni Foundation, and presently president of FNH Development, which will assist minority companies and churches in financing expansion for development and growth. I am honored to come before this leadership body who is leading Caddo Parish into the future. I am also encouraged by the desire of the Shreveport-Bossier Convention and Tourist Bureau leadership, again, in stepping out on an initiative that continues a pattern of questionable directives and a lack of vision that covers the whole community. I am not against the pickleball court development, but against the price tag in the name of economic development for a very limited impact item. Even at a reduced price of 1/5 of 10 million, in which many of us possibly could understand, and yet then we ask, at what point does the whole parish feels the economic impact? Somehow, we have, over the last number of years, continued to miss the mark on marketing our area as a regional destination that would benefit the whole community. Sometimes the trees get in the way of seeing the forest. Because of our failure in that area, we neglect our assets, growth, and with 50 million people within a 5-hour drive of our area. As a regional destination, our Independence Bowl would not be a one-day event with a dinner and luncheon, but a regional event that draws all people to enjoy what we have to offer here in Caddo and Bossier Parish of entertainment and family fun. In failing in its mission to allure sponsors from the private sector, such as members of the Committee of 100, in the face of the principle of corporate responsibility.
Excuse me, Mr.
In
Henson.
supporting our assets that touch economic development
Excuse me,
and
Mr. Henson.
entertainment.
I want to extend your time. Would 2 minutes be sufficient for you to complete?
Okay.
All right. Motion to extend.
Second.
Okay, does that pass by acclamation? That passes by acclamation. Okay, you have an additional 2 minutes to complete your comments.
Okay, all right. I will cut it short. One, in filling the mission of sponsors for all economic impact items in our area. The failure of Fit for Life is an event created from an event that Arnold Schwarzenegger has in Columbus, Ohio, that draws 150,000 people. And yet the first year of Fit for Life, 100 visitors came from England, first time in America, came to Shreveport. And lady bodybuilders from all across the country. And yet we fail in creating sponsorship for events that could grow. Shreveport-Bossier assets and $3 million economic impact. We're in a region right in the smack dab in the middle of the architects. And yet our failure to elect is costing us over $400 million in economic impact and tax dollars to both parishes and cities. Because of this lack of vision, we are here debating on spending $10 million on a pickleball court while changing currents in this country has our medical industry looking at a $3 billion, a loss of $3 billion, right? And yet our parishes are going to feel the effect of that loss and going to have some hard times, and we're here talking about a $10 million pickleball court. Our assets with just $3 million, with matching dollars from the private sector over a 3-year period, would grow our assets to over $400 million economic impact and millions of dollars in tax revenue to both cities and parish, and thousands of jobs. Our assets are our festivals. Our assets, Independence Bowl. The Sports Commission, which I started under my chairmanship, was designed not to be under the Tourist Bureau, but to be a single entity.
Mr. Henson, your time has expired. If you would like to leave a copy?
I
Thou
I think
clerk?
each one of you have been given a copy.
Thank you
to read,
so
all
much.
right?
We
All right?
appreciate you.
And then excuse me, just one last thing. The Shreveport Regional Airport, which now houses a maintenance facility for a regional airline, right? This body and other public entities could be preparing a presentation to them in terms of interstate and airline service, interstate, and directing dollars to support that kind of effort, all right? That
Thank you,
expands
Mr. Henson.
the growth of our city.
Thank
Thank you
you
very
so
much for
much.
your time.
Mr. Clerk, do we have any other comment cards?
I have not received any more at this point, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Our next item, please, is visitors.
And the first visitor we have scheduled today is Caddo Parish Registrar of Voters, Mr. Dale Sibley, who is here. And as he makes his way up, I'm going to switch around a name tag that I noticed did not get switched around when we switched our layout. One
All
second.
right, thank you.
I noticed that as well, so I get all the names mixed up.
Welcome, Mr. Sibley.
Good afternoon, Dale Sibley, Caddo Parish Registrar of Voters, 525 Marshall Street, Shreveport, 71101.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, I think I'm here for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to come visit the commission this month anyhow, because as you guys know, the state is moving to a closed primary system next year in terms of elections. And we've just spent a lot of time in July with the state officials and the commissioners and all the election folks really working through how that's going to work so that we can come back and pass that information on. And if you guys have noticed, the state has already started running advertisements about it. They're running ads in papers. People are updating their websites. And I wanted to just make one note on that today, if I could, and that is, if you guys and ladies would encourage all of your constituents to please check their registration. Unlike in the past with this particular closed primary system, if you are not a registered Republican or a registered Democrat or a no party person who chooses one of those parties, you cannot vote in the closed primary. So I say that because what we find is many people, despite how they registered years ago, vote different ways. And sometimes they forget their original registration. And we've had people come in and go, no, I'm a registered this or that. And we go, well, no, you're not. I've always voted that way. That's okay, but no, you're not. So it's very important this time. So we're encouraging people, if you would, just get that note out to please, they can either go on the Go Vote app, they can go to the Secretary of State's website, or they can contact our office directly. And we can confirm what party they're in, what party they think they're in. There's still time to change. Again, if you're a no party person, no other party counts, independent, libertarian, green, et cetera, none of those parties count in the closed primary. If you're a no party person such as I, we have to choose which party that we want to vote in within that primary. And so it's very important. And I just wanted to get that note out today and ask you to please pass it on to check now, because there's still time to change. There's still time to get it all straightened out. But one of the factors that may impact that, I think you guys who are in the elected office know that at some point nominating petitions will come into effect, and those will come into effect this fall for the spring. So as it relates to those nominating petitions, if you're not a party member, you probably cannot sign that petition if you wanted to support someone. So there are lots of reasons to go ahead and check that out, and we would encourage you to do so.
Do you currently have a campaign that you are orchestrating to let the citizens know about this?
We are at our level. Everything's been driven by the state, first of all, because they want to be sure that there's a uniform message that's out there. So in addition to the information they're putting out, we're updating our websites. I'm coming to you, and I'll be going to other groups around the community. But they're really driving it. The other thing that's happening is they're sending out a mailing, they said, to every voter that talks about the closed primary system and the things they have to look at. So there's a major effort on the part of the state. We're going to do some things at our level, but it's basically being state-driven.
Okay, so there's one collective message across the state of Louisiana.
Yes, ma'am. Because of the uniqueness of it, I understand there was a closed primary before and it operated a little bit differently. This one is very tight. I mean, the absence of any other party is somewhat unique. The fact that you can choose between certain parts of the election. It's fairly unique. What the commissioners, and they're going to receive additional training, what they have to do in terms of people selecting. For example, someone like me, if I go up and I want to choose, there's a declaration form I have to fill out. So there's some changes in the process and procedure that the state and we want everyone to be sure how it works. And we want to make sure that because these offices operate differently in different parishes, obviously those of us in larger parishes, we have different concerns and considerations than someone in a smaller parish. I may have 15 or 20 employees. Those guys may have 2. So the state is interested in us all having that same message, because that same procedure has to be exactly the same everywhere. Otherwise, our system loses its integrity, and that's something that none of us want. One other note in that, just as a bit of information, a lot of you guys have probably heard it from your constituents, and we know we've had the discussions in the past about the security and integrity of the system, and there's a distrust amongst many citizens with the machines that are used, and you've heard people talk about wanting to go completely to paper ballots, et cetera. Well, one of the things the state has done, and we've just completed, actually they're completing it this week, we did ours last week, they're conducting a machine systems audit of the last election. Now this is important because in the past we do post-election audits, but the question was, how accurate are these machines? We just went through ours. I think in the last election, we had roughly, I'm going to say 7,000 mail-in voters. They chose a certain percentage. They came up, they had us pull ballots from certain scan machines that the state selected at random. If that scan box said that there were 50 ballots in there, they had to be hand counted to ensure that there were 50 ballots in there. That's basically what the state did, and I'm proud to report here today that the parish did very well. We had no exceptions. We had no issues. The audit was performed, and we know that there are certain people who are simply not going to trust the machines no matter what we do, but I think it's important for people to know that the state is taking that seriously. They are coming up with ways to try and say, hey, the machines are working the way we say they're working, and at a certain point, hopefully folks can get some comfort in that.
Hey,
Just want to mention that.
Before, I have a couple commissioners that are on the board. Mr. Sibley, do you already have the new systems, the new machines that you talked about the last time?
Oh, no. You got 2 separate machines. I want to be sure. The early voting machines are the same. Those are not the same machines that are done at the precincts. The precinct machines are basically, I would say, mechanical. The state is in the process now, and with the new administration, with the new commissioner of election, with the new secretary, they've outlined a process where that effort is going forward. They have committees and commissions set up. I think they're getting a lot of citizen input. I think the next step is them as a state agreeing upon which system is going to be used. Right now, according to the secretary in our meetings 2 weeks ago, they're in the process of vetting potential vendors. They're asking for submissions from folks who are interested in procuring the machines or providing machines. They're in that process. I think at the same time, they're trying to get everyone to agree on how exactly that choice is going to be made. But right now, they're just in the process of identifying vendors for the new machines.
All right, so at this point, we're still not going to get any new machines anytime
And
soon.
probably even once the decision is made, it's going to be a couple of years before we get them.
Thank you. Commissioner Roy Burrell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks for coming down, Dale.
Yes, sir.
I think I'm still missing something in the explanation. If a person is no party, which can be a Green Party and anything other than Democrat or Republican.
Well, they're all being switched under the state system. If you're anything other than a registered Republican, registered Democrat, or no party registrant, you are made a no party registrant. If you are a Libertarian, Green Party, Independent Party, you're now a no party.
Right.
Yes.
And you said they need to go back and see whether or not they voted.
Oh, no, not the no party people. It's actually the people who registered one way. Perhaps over the years they voted a different way, thinking they changed their registration, but they never did. Okay. So this time, for example, if I'm a registered Democrat, but I've been voting, say, Republican, I go and I want to vote in Republican primary, but I find out, no, you're still registered Democrat. You can't do it. That's the issue, making sure people don't get caught in that.
But your no party people
during the actual election, they get to select. which
Either or
primary they
at
want
that
to
time.
participate in.
They don't have to go back and do anything.
Exactly, exactly.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Burrell. Parliamentarian Victor Thomas.
Thank you, Madam President. How you doing, Mr. Sibley?
I'm well, thank you.
Thank you so much for the work that you do for our parish. That was along, my questions were along the no party lines as well.
Yeah.
I did have a question from a constituent I tried my best to explain, but if you could for the public, please explain the process of changing from a no party and choosing which primary, kind of give them those time frames so they know that you can't just switch to Republican to vote in this primary and then think you're going to be able to go switch and do
You
no
would
party.
ask that, and I was afraid somebody was going to ask that. Part of the reason you haven't heard a lot because there's still a lot of things being worked out. You know, this hadn't been done before. Here's what I understand right now, and I almost hate to say it because I don't want to be quoted. And I understand because if you're a no party person, for example, in the first round, because basically you're going to have 2 party rounds and then the election. So right now where we have like a 2 election cycle, it'll be a 3 election cycle. All right. So the first round in the primary, if I'm a no party voter, and when I go there, I can say, hey, I want to vote for this particular party, and I'll get a declaration form where I get to select that party. The question is, between the first round and the second round, can I change? No. But between the second round and the general, I can't. So it's a little weird. People who are registered party people have no issue. No party people is going to be a little bit different. So we're going to get more information on that and make sure. And again, the state has indicated that they're actually going to send all of us a letter explaining exactly how that works. But that's my understanding is you get to choose at the time that you go and vote, which is a little bit different than anything else we've done election-wise. But there's a very formal process, and there are forms that have to be done and have to be confirmed, and we're still working through some of that.
Thank you so much. As soon as y'all finish working through
Yeah.
it, please get that information to
And
us.
we'll be coming back. I'll come back to the commission and normally I get invited to certain groups. I get invited to Commissioner Epperson's radio show, and we'll try to get all that information out. The good thing about it is we still have some time. This closed primary really won't take effect until the spring elections. But qualifying and all that stuff is going to start happening this fall, so people are going to be very interested in what's going on there.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner John Atkins.
Thank you, Madam President. Now, I thought one of the reasons, welcome, Mr. Sibley. I thought one of the reasons you had come down today was to talk to us about
The site.
early voting locations.
Right.
Yeah, can you provide us, that's that's been forwarded to committee, so we'll pick that up in the committee at a future date. But in the meantime, can you kind of enlighten us as to which sites might be available currently and which ones we might have to wait on? And I don't know the answer to this. It's not a rigged question.
No, I appreciate that because that's the other reason. That's the main reason I'm here is over the past, I don't know, month or so, I've just heard a lot of talk from a lot of different directions that to me was a little bit confusing because I said, guys, well, the few people that would talk to me, I said, what I have a resolution from the parish commission that asked me to go look at a site in Oil City. I said, that's the latest thing I have, so that's what we've done. We've gone to look at the possibility of a site in Oil City. The site that was mentioned in your resolution was the Oil City Community Center. So I and a couple of my staff, we went up, looked at it. Well, your clerk, Jeff, was glad enough to get me. I said, I need a point of contact. I don't know anything about Oil City. Linked me up with the mayor, went up, visited with the mayor. We toured the site, the Oil City Community Center. Don't think it's a viable site for a lot of reasons, location and some other things. But while we were there, I said, well, okay, I've been hearing all this talk about the Oil and Gas Museum. While I'm up here, let me go look at that, even though that wasn't in your resolution. Went looked at that and said, no, it's an impossibility there simply because of the layout, their exhibits. Met with the two ladies that work there, and she said, this is all we got. They don't really have a staff, but it's not conducive to what we need to do just in terms of the layout because there are exhibits everywhere, and there's no way we can do it. Well, in speaking with the mayor, she says, well, we got another site that may work, and on their main highway, there's a new, what they call the new Oil City Community Center. Apparently, it was a building shared with Willis Knight, and they did a medical clinic on the front side. So we went up, looked at that, and said basically physically looks like it can work. There's parking, there's a way to get in and out, there are restrooms, ADA, et cetera. I explained to the mayor, I said, this is part of our due diligence. A decision hasn't been made. We're just evaluating whether or not there's even an option. What I've sent her about 2 weeks ago was the actual technical requirements for a site. If you guys recall, those of you who were here when we did this before, we provided you a checklist that comes from the state that talks about how additional sites are selected, what's the criteria, what that building has to be able to do. So I've sent all that to the mayor to ask her to please evaluate her building. Same thing we did with the library when we did the second site. We got with Mr. Tuggle and his staff and said, hey, we're looking for a site. We've asked you to evaluate all your sites based on this criteria. And the site that we have is the one that came back, and it actually was a very good site. It was the site that met everything that we needed done. So we're doing the same thing there. When I get that information back from the mayor, then we'll do a technical analysis. I'll get with the folks from the state. They'll come up, we'll look at it, and we can make a decision on whether or not that is a viable site. And I have to be careful and say, just because we're evaluating the site doesn't mean that's where it's going to be. And some of you kind of know my position. I'm kind of like a coach. You want as many loose factors as possible. So when you say add a third site, to me, that's more people, more possibilities, something going wrong. So, whether or not I want to do that, but it's not whether or not I want to do it personally. If it serves the citizens of the parish, and I want to clarify that. Some of you who may have heard me say, no, I'll be honest with you, as the ROV, no. Because that's additional stuff, it's additional people, that's additional machines, that's more things that can go wrong, But if it serves the parish, and if you guys reach agreement to say, no, we'd like to have another one, we think it's justified to have another one, then that's something that we can look at. Now, I got an email one day from the Commission of Education directed to some folks that I really didn't know who they were, but saying that, hey, we're okay, and you got this site, and y'all go forward, and da-da-da-da-da. And I think there was a little bit of confusion on the part of people at the state. I emailed them, I talked to them a couple of times trying to go, okay, what has changed, and who are these people that are talking? Because I really don't know any of them. But I think we got that clarified. And I had someone say, well, the state, no. I think the state was operating on what they thought was community consensus. I think they may have believed that somehow, but the question I ask is, as far as I know, the ROVs are still involved in the process. As a matter of fact, you guys know it's a 3-party agreement that's done. It's between the Secretary of State, the ROV, and the site provider. Those are the 3 parties to a site contract. And I just want to be sure that you guys are straight on how that process works. You guys were aware of what we've been doing. And again, our actions have been based upon the resolution that we got, indicating that you guys wanted us to check out the Oil City Community Center. And the other center we think can work, but whether or not it will work, that's yet to be determined. And I will say this, part of my rationale, just to be just complete disclosure, is when you look at the population distribution in this parish, most of the population is south. Most of the population is Shreveport down. When you look at the other parishes that have multiple sites, these are parishes that have multiple cities, or they're parishes that based on geography. And the state statute allows you, based on geography, to do multiple sites. But the other criteria depends on the number of voters, distance, and things like that. Early voting sites are not designed to be like precincts. We operate differently, we operate longer, we have different requirements, we have different logistics. So early voting sites are not designed to be all over the parishes. They're not, by nature, and I get that. Some of you guys who are on my board or talk to members on the board, you know the issues we have just with people. Rotating, getting people to come in, getting people trained, getting them. The only way we can ensure that these elections keep going well, is we got to have people who can actually do those things. And that means we got to get people in, we got to train them, and we got to try and keep them. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again while I'm here. Thank you guys for giving us a budget, because without that budget, we would not be able to do what we do. Without that budget, we'd have 5 people. 5 people trying to do all this stuff that we do. But with that budget, y'all allow us to hire all these additional people that you see that allow us to do these other sites. But I will tell you, it's not an endless supply of people out there. We can't say, hey, let's just add another site, because we can add 3 or 4 more people. I would ask you to please look back at that criteria, look back at the equipment requirements, look back at the personnel requirements, And then let's have a conversation after we look at whatever sites you want us to look at. We can come back, look at those sites and say, here's what works and here's what doesn't. Now let's look at the non-logistical things. Let's look at the reality of, do we have the people to make sure that it's done right and that it's done well? Because once we open it, we can't just shut it down. On that note, this election this fall is a very small one. Our parish only has one proposition. It doesn't even cover the whole parish. So there's a question right now that I'm working with the state of Louisiana in terms of whether or not we need to open the second site even for this election coming up in the fall. We think that if we're going to have any early voters, if any, they're going to come downtown because you have to pass downtown to get south. And the election that's on the ballot, as I appreciate, is all basically North Caddo. So we are evaluating that, and whatever decision is made, I'll be sure to let you guys know so we can let the public know whether or not we'll have the second site open on this particular election. But that's where we are. It's a process to get it done. You know, when we did the first one, it took us 1.5 years to get everything that was necessary to make that happen. So I would ask you guys, whatever the beyond what y'all have sent me, which was look at Oil City. If there are other places or other options, you know, let us know, let me know. Because one thing I want to do, I want to get involved in your discussions about it. That's, you know, I said from the very first meeting, even though the statute gives me the authority to do it, I wasn't going to make that decision without you guys because you represent the people out there. So we'll keep it there. Please look back at that process. And if there are any questions about where we are, let me know. But where we are right now is evaluating the All City Community Center, the new one, out on the highway. And once I get that wrapped up, you know, I'll be able to get with Jeff or get with you guys and say, here's what we think. And if it's still in the interest of the commission to go forward on that site, then we can start looking in that direction.
Okay, thank
Commissioner
you.
Atkins, you still have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So just to be clear, you've honored our request to look into a North Caddo location. You have not received any other requests from this body, so you've not looked into any other locations like
Not
West-
since then.
like
No,
West
sir.
Parish.
Like I said, I looked at Oil City Museum because I'd heard it.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd heard it. So I said, while I'm up here, let me look at that and just
Yeah.
so I have a
Okay.
little advanced knowledge on it.
That's all I have. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Atkins. And just as a point of order, there was a different resolution that was passed before that resolution. So my question is, has that resolution reached your desk?
Well, you got to remind me what was on
West
that one.
Shreveport's resolution, that one was passed first by this body.
If you would resend it to me, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, so the answer is no.
No,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Thank
just
you.
the letter that
Mrs.
we
CEO?
sent, when we sent it to the state, we provided both resolutions, but we'll resend it to you, but we provided the one for West Shreveport as well as North.
It was in there as well?
Yeah.
Okay, any particular site in West Shreveport?
It was the OMV.
I'm sorry?
The OMV.
Office of Motor Vehicles.
Okay, no, I had not seen that or focused on that, but we can look at that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Ron Carthren.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Mr. Sibley, for
Yes, sir.
coming. As Commissioner Atkins said earlier, I invited you here so we could primarily address this early voting site situation, and I have received the proper information. And I'm asked that the clerk ensures that everybody get a copy of the process for the early voting site, that we all have that in our hand going forward, because we will be having a committee meeting on Thursday.
Okay.
But in the meantime, you kind of answered some of my question, and that is that you've gone up north, but the question was about out west. And just the short version for me right now, for those that are listening as well, is that, you know, as the president said previously, the west was sent first, then the north came about. But we received from the state the approval, and when I say approval, even though the state says we can have an early voting site, it's your call, as I understand it. And when I say your call, I don't mean yes or no, but the thing is to ensure that everything is proper for a site going forward.
Yeah, the early voting process is the responsibility of the ROV.
Correct.
Not the Secretary of State, and they're very clear on that. And as I said, I think what happened was they were responding because everybody had said, even though most of those guys have never been up here or seen the Oil City Most of those guys just say, hey, it's a state building. We already got a state line there. Surely you can do it there. But again, we went and looked at it and said, no, it probably won't work here. So the state in and of itself, no, they can't make that decision. As I said, it's a three-part agreement between me as the registrar, the site that's chosen, and the Secretary of State's office. So I think they were simply operating on, if that's the site you got, yeah, that could work because there's already a dedicated state line there. But I don't think they had actually visited the site to see whether it would work on the ground. And I think that's why the ROVs are involved, because we're responsible for it. We have to get the results. We have to transmit it. So certainly it needs to be something that we control.
Correct. Now, I guess my other question would be in reference to a early voting site. What type of staff or additional staff would you say that you actually need per voting site? If we were able to get 2 additional early voting sites, what additional staff would you need so we can know here at the local, around this horseshoe, what needs to happen going forward?
Well, we've gone from 1 to 4. I don't know about that.
No, I'm not saying it would happen, but just in case.
No, within the information you have, it kind of gives a generic breakdown of, I think a small site, they recommend an additional 4 to 6 people, and then there's a breakout of the budget and all of that. But I would tell you that the bottom line becomes, again, it's about what I feel we can control and maintain integrity of. Our parish, in my opinion, doesn't need 4 early voting sites.
Okay.
To me, it's a stretch to do a third, but it makes sense depending on where it is. Keep in mind, St. Tammany has at least 4 towns that are relatively equal. We don't. Most of the population is in and around Shreveport. So unless we're going to spread them out in and around Shreveport, and then we're becoming more like precincts, which I would be opposed to. But looking at a third, I would say, let us look at some buildings. Give us some buildings. We'll add the OMV. We'll get that information back, and then let's sit around and make a decision. But I can tell you now, going from 1 to 4, maybe the next guy. I think a third is doable within our resources. A fourth right now, that would scare me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sibley, I know that we still have a couple commissioners who are on the board, and we are probably right at your 15 minutes with the presentation as a visitor. I know that the questions are probably going to continue to go on. I would remind our commissioners that we have a committee that this is currently being discussed in as well. And if you would be brief on your next couple of comments so that we can move on. We do have a swearing in today at 5 o'clock of our youth council.
I understand. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Gregory Young.
Thank you, Madam President. I appreciate the admonishment as it relates to the time window that we're working with. I just have really 2 quick questions. Number one, what authority does this body, this institution has in terms of the realization of an additional voting site?
Funding.
Funding. Okay. And so we're the ones that are responsible for staffing those locations, paying for the machine, paying for the staffing at your office.
Yeah, when we did it the last time, we thought the state was going to pay for some of the things, but no, it ended up all being paid for locally. And that's a part of the process. We present the budget, we lay out the numbers. As I said, you guys have been very generous to the office, so finances probably wouldn't be a problem,
Right.
depending on the kind of budget that you
Right.
give. But
my time is limited. Let me get this out. I appreciate your endorsement, but let me get through. I've had people email me ad nauseum. I'm for this up there in Oil City. I want this up there. Why y'all not doing this? All this kind of chatter. We live in an age of misinformation and disinformation. This body unanimously supported both places, the one up north and the one in West Shreveport. And it's unfortunate that you only got one of them. But my problem is that people don't realize that we're not the final arbiter in terms of who gets these sites. As you say, it's a collaborative process between your office, the site folks, and
Secretary
of State. But we hold the money, right? Okay, I just want to make sure that's clear, for everybody who's listening,
Yeah.
is that we have the power of the purse. So we don't directly decide who gets what.
Right.
But if it's an area that we don't want to have it, we don't have to pay for it. Is that accurate?
That would be difficult. The parish, you're obligated to fund my office. The real decision, and I personally, when I came to you guys the first time, said that because I could sit and make the decision myself. But I said, no, that's not the way I'm going to operate. You guys represent the citizen. You guys say what you want. So if we collectively make that decision, my expectation is that our funding will cover what it takes for us to do that. But as far as the citizens are concerned, you guys can let them know that it is not your call alone, that you are working with me to get it done. Because elections by nature and our office by nature is supposed to be a non-political office. That's why we're not subject to somebody firing us or anything like that, because we're not supposed to be subject to any kind of political influence. Because of that, that's why the decision is strictly in the hands of the RV and Secretary of State. I recognize that you guys got to pay for it. You fund it, you represent the citizens, so I want the commission involved in that process.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Commissioner Young. Vice President Ken Everson.
I'd just like to reserve my comments for the committee meeting relative to this issue.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sibley.
You are welcome, and we will start looking at the OMV site as well.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
All right, that brings us to reports, where we do have an administrator report today that is attached.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Just want to let you know that the parish has received the Keep Louisiana Beautiful grant to provide education on environmental concerns, litter issues to our youth, which is in conjunction with the resolution that you all adopted to work with the school board to educate our youth. So just wanted to notify you of that grant. The juvenile detention numbers, we have 18.
You have to pause right there and allow us to applause. That was good news. We couldn't just let you skip over that.
Yeah, that's just continuing our war on litter process. We're working small steps, but it is, we are working on behalf to try to help our community in the litter issues that we have.
Great work.
Juvenile data, we have 18 in detention, 2 OJJ, 2 17-year-olds, 21 in CCC, and 436 probation cases. All right, the month of July was Parks and Recreation Month. And so we would like to recognize our Parks and Recreation employees. We were not here during the month of July, but we did not want to let that recognition pass. And so if Mr. Wesley can come forward, he'll recognize our Parks and Recreation staff.
Awesome.
All right. Well, again, like to recognize my dream team. This is my dream team. These are the individuals that when you call me, it kind of trickles on down to these individuals, and they find a way to get it done. I've been in this business for a while and just never been a part of a team like this who knows that we're striving for excellence every day. Whatever job, duty, and responsibility that they get, they take it and do it to 100. First of all, administration, thank you all for firstly giving us the professional freedom to provide quality of life services to our citizens, and thank you, commissioners, for what you do, because you appropriate the funds for us, and we cannot do it without the funding. But on behalf of myself and Katina, Assistant Director, I would like to say thank you to my Parks and Recreation, my dream team, for your hard work. It'll be after Labor Day before our summer season is officially over. I mean, we worked 7 days a week on programs and services. Rural communities, inner city, housing authority projects, we are all over the place. And
Sure.
they do not hesitate to go where we send them. So again, thank you all, and thank my team. So, Commissioner, you have your 2024 annual report. We do this for our capital accreditation and for your reference. These are the programs and services. Can I give you an idea, a blueprint of all the programs and services we facilitated over the calendar year of 2024? And they are a large part of making all of this happen. So again, if you have any questions, reach out to me or the administration if you have any questions in reference to any projects that we have going on. Again, thank you all, and thank you again for all what you do for Parks and Recreation.
Absolutely. Director Wesley, before you go, just let me say this. I just want to say that it is just such a blessing to have you and your staff a part of Caddo Parish. You all are truly making an impact in this community. I had the opportunity to speak in Philadelphia about the pull-up and get involved. Not only do you have national accreditation about the work that you're doing, but you're nationally recognized about that type of work, because we understand that reaching our youth is a vital part of continuing to make those empowerments upon their lives. I believe that any time that I pick up the phone and need something from Parks and Rec, I can guarantee that it's going to happen. And when I look out here and see just a handful of people that is making all of these things happen in Caddo Parish, it is not only commendable, it's remarkable to know that just a few people putting their hands to the plow is making the dream work. Teamwork truly does make the dream work. So to each of you, I say thank you for your service to Caddo Parish.
Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner Stephan Jones.
Thank you, Madam President, and I'm going to make a motion in a minute to let you rest your voice for the remainder of the meeting.
Thank you so much.
Us preachers, we need our voices.
Yes.
I just wanted to shout y'all out. I'm not going to say I have a favorite department, but I guess my actions kind of show that everybody knows I love sports and recreation and just how important it is to our community. And I've always been able to get a quick response out of you all, even when it's dealing with me and my boys trying to get them signed up on the website. You know, somebody responded to help me do that. I kind of felt a little old that day. Like, man, I can't figure this thing out. But y'all responded quickly. And I can imagine if I'm going through that, maybe other parents are as well. And the fact that you got things worked out and fixed so the children would have the opportunities to sign up for different camps and opportunities, I think it was a pretty awesome deal. And not just what our children are able to do, what the adults are able to do through recreation in our parish as well. I did a live after one meeting just talking about the different programs. You gave us a handout. And I had one of my constituents get excited about the garden gnomes. You know, there's so many different ways that you can look at recreation, and there are so many different programs and services that we provide as a parish that you all make sure that it happens. And I want people to definitely be more aware about that. And so that's why I try to do the lives or just kind of tell people about the different programs that we have, because there's something for everybody when it comes to Caddo Parks and Recreation. I don't think we're leaving anybody out. Even, you know, the children who don't want to bounce a ball, they may want to work on becoming stronger. We had the weightlifting program partnership with I still call him Brother Ferris, you know, over the summer, you know. So I think, you know, just stuff like that. I appreciate you all finding creative ways to involve every citizen in Caddo Parish to have a recreational aspect. And I think that you do a great job with that. And I just wanted to shout that out because people don't know how hard y'all work. Is my boy Mike still with us?
He's out sick today.
Okay, yeah. Man, I love Mike. Mike is going to make sure that he takes care of whatever area that he's in. He takes his job personally. He remembers, you know, your name. He remembers the name of the people you asked him to go see about. And so those are just the little things that happen in the background that people don't see. And so kudos to you and your team. And you take these people to get something to eat or something, man. They deserve it. They make you look real good.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Parliamentarian Victor Thomas.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to say I am so thankful that we get to see all of you all here together. We always commend you guys for the work that y'all do. I know every time I call Parks, even if it's in the 9th hour at the last minute, y'all all are there. Y'all have always responded well. And I just can't say It's a true testament as to why you have been nationally recognized. Can you tell the public what your moniker or your mission statement is for your department?
We work so you can play.
That's
our
right.
tagline.
That's right, and that is so true. Y'all work so very hard, and I just want to congratulate y'all again and tell each and every one of y'all thank y'all because we know y'all make this man look good. It's not ambassador. We know so.
Amen.
And we're gonna hold you to taking them to eat too.
Commissioner Carthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I would just like to personally thank each and every one of you, and particularly your director here, goes over and beyond anything that I have ever asked of him. The thing is, I drove by Lynbrook Park last night, about 9 o'clock or so, just to see what was going on. And I see we got a camera out there now, and for the right reasons. And it was lit up. People were out there barbecuing and just having fun, okay? And the Keithville site, oh my goodness, the best unknown secret in this parish. And my family members probably been blowing it up, okay? Because once I told them about it, they was like, yeah, we got to go there. And the young man that runs it just does an outstanding job. He know who he is. He know who he is. Yeah. And the thing is, I really appreciate what you all do on a daily basis. And the thing is, continue to do what you do, okay? Because it's not only is it being recognized, but it also, when you're doing something that you truly enjoy, it's not work. It's not work. So again, thank you very much daily for what you do.
Thank you.
Commissioner Burrell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, Patrick, I was on the city council when we hired you. And you
Yes,
know, we
sir.
fought for you at the city. And then after that, you decided to leave to come to the parish. I don't know if you're following me. Since I'm now
Erica
at
stole
the
me.
parish. Oh, okay. But, you know, since the city's parks seem to not be as well funded as it used to because the city likes some funds, but it appears that our park situation seems to be very strong. I would like for you all to consider a little more work in the city when you have an opportunity. Matter of fact, there are probably some a park or two that we maybe even consider joint venturing or either taking over in the city. You have a lot of urban commissioners, and we love the work of the parish parks. So give that some thought. Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Commissioner Burrell. Commissioner Craigman.
Yeah, I'm gonna be time wise. I know y'all spend a lot of time in my district, and all of the parks in my district are always phenomenal, with few exceptions that are out of your control, the ladder and the pier and all this that we hear about perpetually. But I just want to keep it short and simple. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Craigman. I'm not sure if Whitney is in the back. She may want you all to turn around so that she can get a photo.
Okay. You get a photo? Happy family here.
If you want the horseshoe, it's open also. Is this better? You good? Okay.
Thank you again, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Right. Mrs. CEO,
Yes,
still have the floor.
Thank you to the Parks and Recreation team. They are a small but mighty team, and so we truly appreciate all that they do. That concludes the administration report. We'll take any comments or questions at this time.
All right. That's the only one on the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is the president's report. I will postpone it until Thursday. Y'all want to hear me today? I'll go ahead. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, that brings us, we have no old business scheduled. And so under new business, we do have a number of new items. Would you like me to just start with the first one?
Yes, please.
Okay, our first item, 11.1, is to advance the introduction of ordinance number 6554, 2025. That is an ordinance amending and reenacting section 35-1 of the Caddo Parish Code of Ordinances pertaining to the schedule of licenses and fees and otherwise pertaining with respect thereto, providing with respect thereto. That comes from the Long Range Planning Committee.
Mr. Clerk, I was just told by the parliamentarian that we skipped communiques.
I'm so sorry. I thought there was an invitation and no takers. I actually thought that that we didn't have any, but I must have been remiss.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, thank you. We will do it on Thursday. They say they're good. Does that pass by acclamation?
Yes.
Just want to make sure. Is there any opposition?
Praise the Lord.
All right, thank you. Hallelujah. Okay, Mr. Clerk, continue, please.
So we are still on item 11.1.
All right.
It's been read and.
And I have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Ron Carter and second by Vice President Ken Epperson. Commissioner Carter, would you like to speak on your motion?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to englobo in advance.
Praise the Lord.
11-1, 11-2, 11-3, 11-4, 11 oh, sure is. 2 11-4s.
Is that correct?
It's
Okay.
probably,
Both-
I've noticed a couple of errors on the paper that aren't online, so I think that maybe this print version just printed out wrong.
Mine is online. It says
Okay.
11 for advance 6557 and then 11 for advance resolution 33.
Okay, both 11-4s.
Okay.
11-6, 11-7, 11-8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. The only
14.
one left-
11,
And 14.
14 was the agenda edition. Would you like to include that?
And 14.
Okay. E.F. Hutton has spoken. Commissioner Aaron Lazarus has spoken. Okay. Now, if I heard correct, you were omitting. It was one of the resolutions that I did not.
11-5.
Okay, you did. You meant to omit that one.
Yeah, I just,
Okay.
actually what I wanted, Commissioner, to kind of expound on it just a little
Okay.
bit, because people
Well,
have been
we'll come
looking.
back to it. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
Cool.
So you heard the motion that is on the floor, and it's been properly second for the englobo.
Yes.
I see 2 commissioners on the board. Speak on this motion. Commissioner John Atkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam President. I was just seeking some additional information on 11-1. We don't have to discuss it now. It can be sent to me, but there's no attachment on 11-1. I don't know what we're actually proposing here.
Commissioner, I thought I sent that schedule out after we had the Long Range Planning Committee, but I'll send it.
You may have, and maybe I just didn't know.
Yes,
didn't know.
sir. I'll send it again and then, but the actual ordinance will have the detail of the fees changes, but we did put together a spreadsheet for, so I'll send that out.
It shows the fees and all?
But I'll send that out tonight and make sure.
Thank you. Sorry if I missed it. If you could just resend it, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, sir, no problem.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Atkins. Commissioner Stephon Jones.
Thank you, Madam President. I was just going to ask Commissioner Carton if you just include in level 5 and get the clarity with it. That way we have just.
Are you amenable to that friendly amendment? All right. That includes all of the items, Mr. Clerk.
All right.
All right.
So that is an englobo of the entire new business section.
All right. Did you want to get that clarity now? I see Commissioner Craigman's on the board.
I was just gonna punt that way.
Yes, sir. We have representatives here from the North Caddo Hospital Service District, and they can explain what these bonds are for.
How are y'all today?
Hello, how are you?
Good.
All right.
Just one
Would you
that,
please state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Dakota Robinson. I'm the CFO at North Caddo Medical Center, and my address is 5213 Fritchton, Benton, Louisiana 71006.
Thank you.
Good evening, Brendan Black with Foley Udell. We're bond counsel to the district. My address is 365 Canal Street, New Orleans, Louisiana.
Thank you. Okay. And if you would, there are some questions, just a brief summary about the request of these bonds.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you see, the request before you is to go to the State Bond Commission to borrow money in the name of North Caddo Hospital Service District. We do have a clinic located outside of the Hospital Service District in South Bossier that is just south of Curtis Elementary on Barksdale Boulevard. That is a temporary facility, and we are looking to put a permanent facility on that site. And so that's what this is related to.
Okay. Does that satisfy your questions, Commissioner Carter?
I'm trying to understand the bond, but the bond is to place a facility in Bossier?
Yes, sir. So North Caddo Hospital Service District currently has clinics located in Bossier Parish, one of them being in Plain Dealing, Louisiana, one in Benton, Louisiana, and one in South Bossier, Louisiana, or Bossier, Louisiana. Two of those facilities are permanent in nature. The one in South Bossier is in a modular building, and part of the requirements in Bossier Parish MPC is to have a permanent location on site and not in a modular clinic. And so that's what this is related to.
And Commissioner, if I could add, your approval is required under the Constitution regardless of the project location because it is dead of the hospital service district that you created.
That's what I need to know.
Here's the last statement.
Okay.
I was telling Commissioner Cothran that it is, you all have to approve the bond issue because you created the hospital service district. So we are just here to satisfy that constitutional requirement in order to get approval from State Bond Commission later this month. So we're not really here regarding the project itself, which is outside of the parish of Caddo, but more about the debt of what is a subordinate entity of the commission.
So Caddo created a services district in Bossier Parish.
You created the North Caddo Hospital Service District. They have, I believe, permission from the Bossier Parish Police Jury to operate the facilities that they have in Bossier.
But the material benefit is for the constituents in Bossier Parish. Well, so I'm just trying to understand.
So the clinics are located outside of the service district. The whole premise along the outpatient clinics related to the hospital, as we all know, I think actually a citizen spoke a little bit earlier on how the medical industry is changing. There are aspects of the medical industry where it used to be the hospital was the main driver of revenue related to a facility. Now we're looking at a lot of outpatient facilities. Insurance companies are driving outpatient claims. They're trying to get you out of the hospital quicker into outpatient settings, and even the pharmacies. This location will have a pharmacy, quite a few outpatient settings. So you'll have a rural health clinic. There's one already there that we're operating currently. It'll have physical therapy, and it will also have a small radiology department. The hospital, probably 15 years ago, recognized this trend and this push into the outpatient setting. And the first expansion was into Plain Dealing, with the understanding that if you place these in these different communities, we have them in Caddo Parish, for instance, we have them in Vivian, Oil City, and Blanchard. We understand that it is serving the residents in those locations, but ultimately the driver behind the move is to bring revenue into the service district and bring money into the rural community to be able to sustain hospital operations, expand hospital operations. It takes quite a bit of money to run MRI machines and CTs. And our goal is to have the latest and greatest equipment in a location that is a rural location and can be difficult to do business in rural locations for hospitals. So these are just avenues in order to bring money into the hospital service district to help sustain operations there for a very, very long time.
Thank you for your indulgence. I think Commissioner Cothran was on the board.
No, Commissioner Atkins is actually next.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to, just for people that may be listening, I just want to be clear, make sure that I understand, but it's my understanding that the parish has no liability associated with this bond issue. We are just the oversight body that has to approve it as part of the process. But
Yes, sir.
we're not
That is
putting up-
correct.
We're not borrowing any, the parish is not borrowing any money, and we have no liability for the loan that you all are taking out.
And that is very explicit in Section 2 of the resolution. So it's solely secured by hospital revenues.
I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Parliamentarian Victor Thomas.
No, thank you, Madam President. My point was to make that a point from Section 2 of the resolution that we are not liable for any of the funds.
Thank you. All right. I do believe that satisfies this body. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
At
y'all
this
for y'all's
time,
time.
please vote.
And Commissioner Blake is out of the chamber right now. All right, that motion carries with 11 in support and 1 absent, and brings us to the second round of communiques and committee reports, where the first item we do have under there is to remind you that at 5 o'clock we do have our swearing in for the Caddo Parish Youth Leadership Alliance out front.
All right.
And then we are at communiques.
All right. I think we're gonna all hold it. We're gonna put it on. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna put it on ice until Thursday. Thank you so much, commissioners. I'll see you all out at the front, in the front foyer. Commissioner Jones, it's not working. Can I get a motion to adjourn? All right. Meeting adjourned. Thank you so much.
I do want to invite everyone to the City of Shreveport to open Splash Pad tomorrow morning.
Now they.
I know I said both of y'all pushing us.
I know it. Let me slide on here real quick.